Alright, welcome back. So in this video, I want to go ahead and share one of my documents that I'm working on, which is a Solana price action deep dive. I'm doing this and I'm using this for my own personal research and private capital management systems, automated liquidity provision, etc. So it's a pretty complex and advanced things. It's a completely separate thing as well from anything else. But this document, I will go through it in parts. I will focus on important parts. This will give you some clarity, some confidence, some understanding of the underlying asset that you are deploying capital into. In this case, it's Solana. It will not give you some sort of a magical edge, but it's an information that is good to know because it can save you from trouble when deploying capital into different ranges, and also will give you some confidence and clarity when it comes to understanding the asset itself. What are you actually deploying into, not from the fundamental perspective of what the Solana actually do, but from the technical perspective based on the whole historical price action data. So we are taking from 2020, uh, basically when it launched, Solana itself, till the last day of February in 2026. So it's more than 5 years of data, 2028 daily candles and 27.7 thousand hourly candles being analyzed throughout the whole price action points. So this is like a quick summary. The starting price, ending price on the February, all-time high, etc. The most important number here is the annualized volatility number, which sits at more or less averaged 118%. This is a core critical number to understand because this is how much movement you can expect per year for Solana. So when deploying capital into ranges, etc., you should take this into consideration because understanding how much the asset can move based on the whole history of the asset itself can save you from a lot of unnecessary problems and impermanent loss, because having annualized volatility at 120% more or less, and deploying capital into, let's say, 5 to 10% ranges will destroy your capital if you do this consistently over the year, because the volatility is way higher. So your impermanent loss and capital decay will be also much higher, because on each rebalance, based on how you manage it, but if you manage it in the most easiest and simplest perspective, 50-50 ranges, your capital, the principal capital, will be destroyed fully. The fees can offset that, don't get me wrong, if you do it smartly, but the principal amount can actually decay really quickly if using wrong ranges based on the annualized volatility number. So this is important. Okay, the price history is not that important in this case. Now here some interesting data points: yearly performance. So as you can see, these are the returns on Solana year over year with volatility as well. And an interesting point actually is the update. So how many days in percentage points Solana been up versus down. So you will see in this statistics that pretty much it's always sitting around 50-50. So it's a bit above, a bit below, but it's usually close to 50-50. This data can be beneficial for prediction markets. Right now we have poly market, you can guess, so to speak, on Solana price in short-term perspective, daily perspective. So having 50-50 ratio on Solana and financial asset in general is a pretty good number, because, well, it's not that difficult using certain strategies to predict the outcome of a daily close based on a daily open using these numbers. Okay, so it's basically not free money, but it's pretty easy to make money in prediction markets, knowing all of this data. Okay, you have the best days, you have the worst days, 42% per day. That's the most Solana dropped through history. and about 46 is the most that Solana went up throughout history as well in a one single trading day. Now, daily returns distribution, I will not focus on that at the moment, but I will focus on the candle size distribution because this is important for liquidity provision for the LPs, right? People like you and me. So first of all, I wrote these very simple summaries. So candle size distribution in this chart is basically how big a sol candles are, both as close to close, what daily return is, and the intraday high to low ranges, which means that how much price bounced around during the day, even if it closed near where it opened, okay? So this is critical for LP range setting. If 30% of days have a move more than 3%, then a plus minus 3% LP range will get breached almost every third day. So this is important because each time you make a rebalance, you are locking whatever the impermanent loss you have, and then you are rebalancing the pool. There are multiple strategies, as you know, for our DeFi house, etc., how to do it as safe as possible. But still, if you do consistently doing the wrong thing without taking math into your calculations, so to speak, your capital can decay and the fees can fail to offset the impermanent loss throughout time if you are using wrong ranges and asset ratios. Okay, so for example, daily a close to close move, you can see that within 3 to 5% daily price action, you have the most amount of probability, so to speak, distribution, where Solana has the highest probability of closing the daily price above or below, more or less, within 3 to 5% range width. Sorry. We also have daily intraday range from high to low. In most cases, it's a 34% probability and distributional number within 6 to 10%. So the price of a daily range can go from 6 to 10% on 34 times out of 100, so to speak, which also tells you a very good story on how to set your DeFi LP ranges, especially when it comes to a bit of a medium-term ranges and not just a quick daily or intraday, just a few percent ranges, because you will get breached very frequently. So this is an interesting and important data. As you can see, between 0 and 2% and 2 and 4, as most people are using this kind of ranges for maximum yield, this will give you maximum yield, but this will decay your principal capital also really quickly. So that's what you have to take into consideration. And in this case, if you are deploying capital within 0 to 4, even to 6% ranges, the odds are against you. So the ranges should be at least 6, 10, 10, 15, and even beyond that. Okay? And I am running endless amount of data of which ranges are working the best, and I will share that maybe in the future, because that's a very complex and a really worked insanely hard to achieve those numbers and create the whole prediction simulation summaries, but it's a really good data. So also hourly close to close, as you can see, in most cases it's a very small number, between 0 and 0.25 up to 1% on hourly candlesticks. So having a wider range already tells you that you will be in range for long enough. So that's why we have this LP range analysis, very basic one. It just shows you the range width plus minus 5, 7%, so like 10, 14, 20 in total. It shows you what is the probability to stay in range throughout the whole day. So as you can see, if you have plus minus 2% or 3%, you have less than 50% probability to stay in range, while if you make this plus minus 5% already, it's already at 70%. So wider range, even with 10% range, you kinda give yourself an edge, because the possibility of you being in range 24 hours is 70% in this case. So it's a pretty not bad number when it comes to these things. The 7-day average is about 17. So this shows you that for short term, it's okay. For a week and beyond, this number will get lower and lower and will average at about probably 12% more or less. So the odds in a medium term perspective are not that great, but if you move just a bit, like double the range, it's already at 64% over the week to stay in range and 91% to stay in range over the full day. So anything above 10%, plus minus 10%, so 20% in total, will ensure a pretty stable yielding, as you can see, and staying in range for a medium term perspective as well. So you shouldn't focus on maximum yield and very small ranges because the odds are against you when it comes to medium term perspective. We also have some volatility regimes as well that shows the volatility of Solana, how it actually compares monthly versus weekly versus quarterly data, so to speak. It's not that interesting here. Rolling Sharpe ratio is a pretty interesting one. It's a 60 days, so anything above zero means that Sol is generating positive risk-adjusted returns, making money relative to its volatility. Below zero is losing money, and above 2 is exceptional returns. So in this case, what you want to do, what you want as a LP provider from Solana is to have more updates when it comes to Sharpe ratio than a negative Sharpe ratio. So in this case, this period right here, right, this whole period here from 2022 to 2023, we had mostly negative Sharpe ratio, rolling Sharpe ratio, which means that holding Solana in an LP position means that you are fighting against a losing underlying asset as well. So your fee income needs to offset both the negative drift of Solana and the impermanent loss. So these are the toughest periods for LP strategies, okay? So right now, we are also seeing the same thing. We are in a negative Sharpe ratio, meaning that it's impossible to be green in a net green amount because Solana itself is a negatively drifting underlying asset. So these conditions are the hardest, but if you are not spending the yield, but you are combining it, compounding or deploying and holding in Sol or something, these are the best conditions to farm cheap Solanas, right? So it's not that bad, but the impermanent loss in these cases are very hard to recover and it will take time. But the best strategy is to use higher wave ranges, at least 20% ranges in this case for your main positions, main capital, so you are staying in range long enough and you don't have to do frequent rebalancing and lock the impermanent loss when Solana itself is on a negative Sharpe ratio, okay? Now the maximum drawdown numbers, well, we had 96% as the maximum drawdown. We have the average depth of the drawdown about 20%, median at 10, and the average duration is about 80 days of how many days from start to recovery. Okay, so this is how many days you can expect to be trapped underwater with your money, and the average recovery to get back to even is about 37 days, which is very good number, which means that yes, you can stay underwater for quite a while, but then you will have a pretty quick recovery back. You can see it's almost 80 days in underwater, being underwater, and just 40, so it's double the time. It's 2 times quicker to recover from losses, which is a very good result when it comes to financial product itself. Usually these things can take months and years. Okay, top 5 worst drawdowns. We have, of course, the biggest one, 96%, and recovery time was 751 days, which is pretty much 2 years, maybe even more than that, 365, yeah, something about 2 years. We had also 74%. The most recent ones, number 3, 70% from 2025 through 2026 as well. And we got back in 5 days, more or less. These kind of, at least we came back to the same price. Okay. We also had 60% drawdown here to here. It took about 2 months, 3 months, and we came back in 30 days. And we had the same thing once again in most of the craziest drawdowns happened throughout 2021. Then we had a pretty simple price action on Solana. We can actually take a look at it. Yeah, as you can see, these numbers, if we look at the weekly, these from 2024 till 2025 mid, it's been pretty sideways moving price action. Here we've been underwater for about 2 years, more or less. Here we had a very high price action, very strong volatility, and now we're also seeing some decaying and price action as we see right now. A seasonality, which is also interesting and important for the prediction markets. As you can see, 53% probability that Friday will be positive. This is beneficial data to bet on the daily predictions on poly market, whatever else. You may actually do that, or you have the least possibility to be open and close in green on Mondays as well. These are the monthly data and quarterly data, which is very close to 50-50 in most cases, which also confirms the gambler's fallacy when it comes to finance, which tells that the market owns you nothing. Having a 7 losing day streak does not mean that you have a higher probability of the 8th one being green. It does not mean like that. So gambler's fallacy does not work in this case. It just proves that the market owns you nothing. We also have the monthly returns heat map on Solana itself, so also beneficial data to see. As you can see, which months more or less are showing bullish ones throughout this 6 years of data. So you can also use this for your own advantage when it comes to predicting the outcome and range deployment and some other data as well. So hopefully this was beneficial. Hopefully this will give you a bit of understanding. I cannot share this, but you can basically pause and read more details for yourself. So yeah, once again, thank you for watching. Stay safe. The conditions are difficult, but it's tough waters creates the best sailors, right? So once the market comes back, once we see a new rally, so to speak, a new capital deployment thing, because there are endless amount of capital ready to be deployed, it's just sitting and waiting in money market funds. Once we see that, the whole thing will start to make sense. What's happening now with all the wars and conflicts, etc., guys, relax. It's another way to create the need for printing more capital, so the next digital financial system can be announced smoother without much resistance from humanity itself. Easy. Basic games, super simple stuff. Just do some research, okay? And do the research not using science and general mainstream knowledge. Use a bit of the other side of knowledge, so to speak. Okay, so thank you once again. Wishing you all the best for March. Spring is here. The sun is out here in my country, at least. Hopefully for you it's the same. And I will see you on a next video later on. Take care.